My name is Adam Walker. I'm 44 years old. I think I've worked just about every day of my life except for a couple of months last year, so I'm going on about 30 years. I found out, well, I didn't find out until July that I had a broken knee, but in April, I left my position as banquet chef at the Essex Resort. There was a lot of pain at work and I couldn't explain it. I was in a situation in between insurance, I guess is the right way to put it. I was going through a divorce, switching the plan over, was injured in the middle of it. It wasn't a work-related injury, so there was no workers' comp. So I was sitting there injured. I made the decision to leave work. I just really couldn't go through another extremely painful day. It turns out I actually had gout, which is a type of arthritis, extremely painful, and that was what I thought the problem was. So I'm sitting without a job. I had 3.5 months worth of rent or mortgage covered. I had a backup, I had savings. Until I went to the doctor a couple of times. You go to the ER at about $1,500 a whack, and that takes a pretty good hit on the savings. So I had budgeted out what I had figured was about 2.5 months of existence here in Vermont. And with that last little bit of money, I was gonna make I guess a dash is the wrong way to put it, but I was making some extraordinary, I was gonna have to move, basically, away from my kids, away from everything that I built in Vermont to go back to family, to become better, to get my health back. So basically, the first phone call I made was a 211, which was at least proactive, and it was a proactive, it gave me a lot of resources. And as you find out, I looked at unemployment, disability. I think I'd gone through just about every possible, ahead of the real big slip and fall. And I was too injured for unemployment, and I wasn't injured enough for disability. So I knew I had zero income. I didn't really intend to figure out, so 2 months goes by. I had met Louise Merriam, I think it would have been late July, so about a month after making my initial 211 call, I started to get some calls back. I understand that there's a big log of people, and I realized I was getting on a list. So about a month went by, and I wasn't getting great answers. You know, like I said, I'm with a broken leg, basically, all you can do is stay off your feet. So being a chef, I did a whole lot of staying on my feet, and that's my area of knowledge. So to step into sitting positions that I had no experience, so I was trying to find a job and not doing it too successfully because it was outside of the realm of what I really did for work. So I called 211, and I was getting answers like, you know, when you finally are homeless, there are plenty of shelters that you can go to. And I'm like, see, I have an apartment. I have rent paid. I had this figured out, I thought, and I didn't. So I called 211. I got a hold of Louise. They basically, the decision was that they sat down after meeting me and really getting to know what the situation was. They decided that COTS was going to figure out how to get me 3 months of rent, enough to recoup the knee and hopefully get on the way to finding additional other new employment, which I'm a cab driver, by the way, so it's a nice seated job that needs very little experience, but go green cab. So that's all I said I was going to do for them today. So the other nice, and I'm going to get off track a little bit and I'll go right back to it. I was kind of forced, I use that in quotations. There was some, they just said, here's, you know, almost $5 grand. We're going to cover your rent. All we ask is you have like 3 classes to go to. They're free, just go. And I went to the 3 and they're really great stuff, and I went to the other 3 and then asked if they had any more. So that's CVOEO. So that was a Champlain Valley Office of Economic Opportunity. There you go. I know the letters, but so anyway, so the 3 that I was required to go to actually turned into doing all of them, and they're really great programs that I never knew existed. And it's simple stuff like budgeting, which I had already budgeted, so it didn't seem applicable, but then there was more advanced things that were really quite good. And if you had no skills in that area, which school doesn't teach you how to live life effectively necessarily, these do that. But it took me to break my knee and basically be flat on my face to realize that there's stuff out there and there's help. So the one thing I really want to emphasize with COTS was their timing. COTS was the only one of all the services that were available to step in before I was homeless. They were like, hey, before you lose your house, let's do this. And they did. And so the 3 months worth of rent, I made them a deal, and the money was there. They didn't really care how I spent it. I could have just lived fat for 3 months, but I decided to actually cut the money in half, pay half the rent. They provide half to give me actually 6 months. So that was, let's say, July of last year, I think, and August was the final payment. A year, I guess, 15 months later, I've had a job at Green Cab for the last 18 months. I've doubled the savings I spent last year, have time and energy left to get my own insurance so this doesn't happen again. And that was part of what the programs are all about, is that it's not a gift, it's like a promissory note on you to do the right thing. And not everybody does. I think I took the opportunity and said, sure, because staring down at rock bottom is scary. And I wasn't all the way there, and what I was hearing is that they want you to hit that and then pick yourself up. And I'm like, why can't we just skip to hitting the bottom? Because, you know, falling is fine, but landing is difficult. So, but COTS really did that. And so I guess gratitude is kind of the eye of the meeting. I am paying it forward with COTS, so I guess, kind of. I'm hoping you'll pay it forward for me because I took advantage of it. And like I said, I've got 2 great kids that are thankful that I'm still able to work. I don't ever plan to use the service again, but I know it's here. But that's what I decided to do, is actually just really tell you guys that this is awesome. And I may not be the face of what you expected to see, but it does good stuff. So if you guys have even if you have time, because that's what I seem to have more of than I do money, so I'm offering my time to COTS. But that's it. Thanks, guys.